Company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
Doing the thing on the kayak.
Yeah, so I'll email you next week. Oh, how about this is live radio. I'm sitting here talking to my buddy Gil Bilu of Bilu and Bilu Law. He's with us every month talking about another sad subject, foreclosure.
Well, today, Steve, what I want to do is actually, at least for part of today's show.
It's your show, bro.
It's my show, right? So for at least part of today's show, I want to talk about the lighter side and what happens afterwards.
Did you say a lighter side?
The lighter side.
Is there a such thing?
Well, what happens when we're done? You've had phenomenal representation, and we're going to put aside, litigating forever, which
First,
I'm all about that.
Tell them about your firm, because this guy is, listen, if you go through a foreclosure, if you know someone who might be going through a foreclosure, get someone who knows. I mean, this is going to sound very strange because lawyers, but he knows what he's doing. You know what? He won't say this, but when you come in against a judge, they know what you're about. So it's got to give you a little bit of respect because they know how
Absolutely.
good you are.
I'll tell you what, well, first let me just give people the vitals, right? So 954-596-0669. Call us for a free consultation. If you can't make it into the office, we could do it over the phone. If you don't like to talk on the phone and you can't make it into the office, you can do it via email. You can get a little more information about us, www.bilulaw.com. We've also got a Facebook page. I put plenty of interesting stuff on there as well. So come check us out. You can follow me on Twitter at gbilu. I don't make it only all about foreclosure. There's some other good stuff going on there too. And like Steve was just saying, you might get a chance to see a picture of my kids on it. But what I want to talk about a little bit at least today, because there's a lot going on. I had a crazy day today. But one of the things I want to talk about is, what happens after. Okay, so I mean, look, I tell you one thing. I had a trial last week. Monster of a trial.
Wow.
Monster of a trial.
I love hearing about your trials.
Yeah, I love hearing about the trial. I will tell you the truth. I dedicated that one, Roddy Piper. I said, I'm coming to court today to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum. Unfortunately, should run a little bubble gum. Look, it happens. We're fighting an uphill battle. I happen to go up against a well-heeled, prestigious white shoe firm who really didn't take the challenge seriously. And this was what was kind of great about it's never great when you lose. But, look, I did an amazing job. I actually had this attorney who's been litigating high-profile securities actions and things like that for 30 years, come up to me after the trial. I was like, wow, I didn't see that coming. Look, you're fighting a foreclosure. It's an uphill battle. If I told you that I won every case, I'd be lying. I tell you that I will not take your case to trial if I don't think there's a good chance of winning. I thought there was a great chance of winning, better than the other side thought, and it literally the judge wasn't sure which way he was going to go. It was amazing. One of the greatest experiences I've had.
How long was the trial?
That trial went, I think, just about. We hit the 3-hour mark, 2.5, 3 hours, something like that.
So it wasn't it was a week or 3 or 4 days.
No, weeks and months of preparation though. We had to bring in an expert witness. It was a monster. But so what happens after, right? Because everybody's okay. Went through. We did a short sale. Bilu and Bilu helped us do our short sale. We got it through. We got our deficiency waived. We got our life back on track. Or, we filed for bankruptcy. There was no way we're going to be able to keep the house. And I heard a great story this weekend. Actually, I haven't had a chance to post it yet. It was about a mortgage broker up in North Florida that, all her business dried up, and her husband was doing moving. All his business dried up. And, they'd moved into this huge 6-bedroom house, 4,000 square feet under air on an acre of land. They loved it. It was beautiful. And, then foreclosure came. They couldn't support it. They said, okay, we're going to go through. And I believe they did a short sale, if I'm not mistaken. If not, the bank foreclosed on it. So what happens now? She's got her mortgage business back together. She's making a modest income, I shouldn't say modest, a decent income, right? She can't afford the house that she used to have, but she's been paying her bills on time. Well, she's super excited, and it's not a client of mine. It's nobody I'm plugging, right? She's super excited. Why? She just bought another house. Financed, FHA, I think it was 5% down. She got back in. She was responsible after her foreclosure, and she was able to get it. So I have a lot of clients that come to me, a lot of clients, especially after bankruptcy. All right, how soon until I can get a new credit card? I'm like, first of all, let's not go there. But secondly, you're going to get credit card offers immediately for secure credit card, things like that. Well, how long until I get a mortgage? Be like, that's really going to depend on the lender. So I've got a lender who's actually going to be calling in on the show in about 10 minutes or so. I arranged to have her call in because, look, as much as I know about the real estate market and foreclosure and litigation, when it comes to underwriting of loans, I don't know about it. And what got us into a lot of this mess in the first place was really sloppy underwriting practices. It's like, hey, you got a pulse and a paycheck and a credit score? We'll give you a loan. Well,
Gil, I heard they're doing that again, though, now.
Yes and no. There are some lenders who are being irresponsible again. But by and large, and for the most part, you're not seeing 120% financing or 105% financing. You're not seeing no money down, no documentation loans. I'm sure there are a couple of crazy people out there doing it, but for the most part, most of the lenders are back to solid underwriting. So I said, look, these are questions that are way beyond me. So I had lunch with her the other day. I said, Rachel, tell me, how long do my clients need to wait before they can get a new mortgage? And she explained it to me. She even emailed me a chart. Man, it's complicated stuff. And that's why I wanted to have her come on today because, it's one thing for me to bring you out to the other side of the tunnel, right? We did the foreclosure. We did the bankruptcy. You weren't able to keep your home for whatever reason. You overbought.
But then
the
what
house
happens?
Was too big. But what's next? And, we want to be your lawyers for a lifetime. Right? We don't want to be, your one-stop shop. Oh, they got me out of trouble, and now I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to go to this other guy down the road. I've been doing real estate transactions for almost 15 years. I've seen it all. I saw this crisis start to happen. I remember sitting in my office and laughing at this website, back in 2007 called the Mortgage Implodometer. And we would just literally log on every day to see which banks closed. And it was really funny until it wasn't. So, for me, from my
you handle
perspective,
bankruptcies too.
I handle bankruptcy.
Yes, you do bankruptcy.
Right? So my clients who've gone through a bankruptcy, they come to me and say, how soon until I can buy a house? 1 year, 2 years. Well, you know what? The answer is kind of complicated. It can be as little as 1 year. It can be as much as 2 years. But, what's important is there is light at the end of the tunnel. Because back in 2008, these lenders, they're saying, look, if you had a foreclosure filed against you, we're not lending you money ever. And people came up to me, legitimately freaked out.
But they can't file bankruptcy again, though.
Well, that's another story. But, people came up to me, legitimately freaked out. I'm not even talking about bankruptcies, people that went through a foreclosure, right? Freaked out. I'll never be able to borrow money again. I'm like, look, they're saying that right now. It's a mess right now. It's like today, the stock market dropped like almost 600 points, right? They're freaking out selling their stocks. Well, that's what was happening. People were freaking out. The underwriters freaking out. We're never going to lend you money if you've been through a foreclosure. Till half the nation went through foreclosure. They're like, look, we got to lend money. These people can be responsible. And so what they did was they set up some, what I think, common sense, maybe a little too strict underwriting standards. You could come in and get your life back together. You can get an FHA loan now after FHA would be the Fair Housing Administration. What's great about the FHA or some of their programs is they let you borrow money with as little as 3 to 5% down.
Wow.
Well, right. But if you're going to have somebody with not that much skin in the game buying a house and you're going to be backing up that mortgage, you want to make sure that they're doing it on solid fundamentals. And this is where those strong underwriting standards are coming back. And mostly for a good thing. I think it's great. When I'm going to throw out my contact info again,
Yeah.
because I've just been talking for a while, right? 954-596-0669. You can call us, set up a free consultation. You want to buy a house, we can go through some of the standards with you. www.bilulaw.com. We're working to get some of our affiliates links up there so we can get another nice thing we're working on the website is we're going to be putting together a video library.
Nice.
So you can come in. If you got a question, we're going to take our most frequently answered questions. You can do 1 to 2 minute video blurbs. Just, hey, you got a question, here's your answer. Because you know what? There's no question I haven't heard before.
I want to get this in. Don't try to do this yourself.
Don't try to do it yourself.
Please, this is not
don't try to do it
Gil
yourself.
does not need the money, okay? He's doing fine. You don't want to do this by yourself.
Well, here's the thing. If you do it by yourself and then you come to me, it is going to cost you more money for me to fix your mistakes.
Yes.
And I answer questions like this all the time. I post in several online forums where people are like, well, I'm defending my foreclosure and I'm doing it myself and I'm doing X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, really? You put all that money into a property and now you're cheaping out at the last minute.
That's the way to put it.
It's being penny wise and pound foolish, honestly. Like if you want somebody to defend you and do a good job, then hire somebody to defend you and do a good job. If you think you can do it yourself, well, unless you're an attorney and you're experienced in this field of law, you're not.
And you try to keep people from going to court, but if they do, this guy's a bulldog.
Well,
I can say it.
Right. It depends, right? If somebody comes to me and says, look, I got nothing here to do but fight. I'm renting it out. I'm, one guy moved to like somewhere, some island. Some island that I wish I was on, right? Because I'm just renting the place out. Keep it going as long as you can. Okay, no problem. Let me see what I can do for you, man. And I understand that rationale. But if you're looking to save your house, if you're looking to build a lasting life here in the United States, you're going to need credit, right? And so you got to do something to preserve that and get it to where it needs to be. And fighting might not be the only answer. We like to look at litigation in foreclosure as a tool. It's a tool to get us to where we want. And I'll give you a great example. I've got a short sale that we're negotiating right now. Now, this thing came up for a summary judgment, or actually, no, it came up for a trial 6 months ago. Talked to the lender's counsel. I said, look, we're working on a short sale right now. I think it's going to go through. We've been working on it for a while. The house needs a lot of work. And so it's not the easiest deal because it's not getting top dollar on the market. I said, tell you what, let's do a judgment. We'll give you give us 120 days, waive the deficiency. Right? It means you can't come back against my clients for the difference between the value of the property and the price of your judgment. And we're going to continue to work on the short sale. We put it right in our agreement, but you're waiving the deficiency just in case. I got the backup. So now we're negotiating, and it's in the hand of another investor. The decision's being made by another investor. He's looking at it, going, "All right, well, we'll accept this price, and we want your clients to give us a promissory note for $9,000." I said, "No, not happening. Why? Well, let's see. If we let the house go to a foreclosure sale, you'll get some money. It's not going to hit top dollar because the house is in not very good condition. And you're never going to come after these people for money. Or you can cash out now and not try to sell the property if nobody buys it at the foreclosure sale." Still waiting on the answer, but I'm confident. I literally just got off the phone with my client. I'm confident knowing that if this short sale falls through, yeah, it's a couple less bucks in my pocket because I would be the closing agent, full disclosure. It's a couple less bucks in my pocket, but my client's protected. The bank can never come after them for any more money because I secured that waiver of deficiency. And I can tell you, not just pro se's, not just people representing themselves, attorneys who don't handle foreclosures, going in, negotiating a consent judgment and not negotiating for that waiver of deficiency. As far as I'm concerned, I mean, getting an extended sale date, that's the tip of the iceberg. The real deal, the real prize is what's underneath, is getting that deficiency waived, especially if you're looking at a property that's over leveraged, that's got way more out in mortgages than it's worth.
Who was the law firm that really gave attorneys who did foreclosure such a bad name here? Was it Singer or Sanger?
I can't. Yeah, I'm not allowed to say that.
They did a lot of foreclosures, like a factory.
Yeah.
And I think he lost his law license. I don't
Oh,
think
he
they
gave up his law license. Yeah, I know exactly the guy you're talking about.
So still trying to save a buck here and there.
Or-
That's not necessarily the way to go.
Yeah, no. Well, look, he lost his law license. Unfortunately, that guy's doing fine. He
Oh,
doesn't-
he is? Okay.
Yeah, anytime you eating at a Five Guys in South Florida, you're probably putting money in his pocket. Which, hey, man, good for him. You know, he traded out his soul for a whole lot of money. And there's also things with Securities and Exchange Commission,
Yes.
with selling stocks to his company. It was a whole thing. It brought a lot of tarnish onto the reputation of attorneys in Florida. But I'm not here to badmouth them. You know,
I can.
it's not. Yeah, you are, but I'm not, because you know what? Ultimately, doesn't matter. I get people that come and be like, "Hey, that's the guy that filed the foreclosure suit where I lost my house." It's like 6 years later. I want to go and say the foreclosure was invalid and all the signatures were
Have you had
void.
that?
I get that call at least once a week. And I'm like, look, the time to raise those defenses was 4 years ago.
Yes.
What are you doing with your life now? You know, what are we doing now to make your life better? What are we doing to take you over to the next step? Like I said, I want to be your attorney, not just in the bad. I want to be your attorney in the good. You know, Tracy was just on. What was her first name, right? The family law attorney.
Oh, Tina.
Tina. I'm sorry, Tina. I love that they call themselves family law, not divorce attorneys. Why? Because we want to be with you when, you know, you get that big, expensive divorce litigation, of course. But when you come back and you're smarter and you're getting married the next time and you have some assets and you're doing a pre and post nuptial agreement, they want to be there for that too. And I totally respect that. You know, I've met a lot of good family law attorneys. And what I've noticed is, you know, the ones that call themselves divorce attorneys are just there for the blood. The ones that are there, you know, are there to be family attorneys, same thing. And that's what we do. You know, we want to be your attorney in the good. We want to be your attorney in the bad. We want to be the first one you turn to when you have a problem. You know, look, if we've built that relationship with you, even if we don't handle what you do, you can trust that we're going to pitch in good hands.
Hey, we're going to go to break. Give them your phone number and your website again.
954-596-0669. You can call us for a free consultation. Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com, www.facebook.com/bilulaw, and you can follow me on Twitter at gbilu. I'm not quite as entertaining as the Stephen Renee Show or Depressed Darth, but I'm pretty funny.
We're going to go to break. We'll be right back.
At the law firm of Bilu and Bilu, we can help you if you are facing foreclosure. Don't lose your home due to foreclosures by the bank or mortgage company. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu at 954-596-0669. You have rights and we can help you exercise them. At Bilu and Bilu, your first consultation is always free. If your home is underwater or you are behind on your mortgage and you're confused about what to do, we can help. Call our office today, 954-596-0669 or 1-877-BILU-LAW. That's 1-877-BILU-LAW. At Bilu and Bilu, our lawyers have more than 20 years combined experience in real estate law. The banks have lawyers, and so should you. The lawyers at Bilu and Bilu can help you modify your loan or apply for a short sale while they defend your case in court. Contact the lawyers at Bilu and Bilu today so you can sleep easy tonight. Your home is your castle. Trust the professionals at Bilu and Bilu to defend it for you. The law office of Bilu and Bilu handles foreclosure defense in Broward and Palm Beach and all 67 Florida counties. Call the law offices of Bilu and Bilu today at 954-596-0669 or visit us on the web at bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com.
And we are back. Well, I'm going to just we have a phone call. I'm just going to turn this over to you, Gil.
All right. Well, Steve, we got a special guest that I wanted to bring on the show, and this was why I wanted to bring up this topic about boomerang buyers today. As a mortgage broker, her name is Racheli Raphael Smilovitz. I can never say her name right. She is your mortgage girl. She's awesome. I love her. She's fantastic. She's handling mortgages for a few of my clients right now, and they've rave reviews. So we could put her on the air. That would be great.
She's on.
Rachel, you there?
Hi there.
How are you doing?
I'm doing well, and I'm listening to your show, and I love it.
Great. I'm happy you could come and join us. So All right, you sent me like this chart, and I try to memorize it. I'm good at memorizing things, but man, okay. So I just went through a bankruptcy, let's say, right? And I lost my house, foreclosure. I surrendered it as part of the bankruptcy. How long before I can buy a new primary residence?
If it was part of the bankruptcy, you will have to wait 2 years to get an FHA loan, 4 years to get a conventional loan.
Okay, and a conventional loan, that's the one where you put like 20% down, right?
You can put less. You can put as little as 5%.
Okay. But FHA, we're also talking like 3 to 5% down?
3.5% down payment.
All right, 3.5% down payment. So, what was it like before? Like back in 2010 even, if you had gone through a foreclosure?
Well, up until last August, for the short sale, this is what had changed. They used to have it that if you had a short sale, after 2 years with 20% down, you could get a conventional loan. That changed it back to the 4 years last year, August.
Wow,
Exactly.
back to 4 years.
And there were so many people that I had that were waiting for those 2 years to be, and then they changed the law. Like within a week, it changed.
Wow. So now let me ask you, now, is there any different rules if you were a strategic defaulter? Let's say I had bought, 5 properties as investments back in the real estate boom between, 2004 and 2006. And then they were horribly underwater and the rent wasn't supporting the mortgage payment. So I kept my house loan, right? Made those payments on time every month, even paid them down a little bit, but I let the other houses go either to short sale or foreclosure. Does that change how how the banks are looking at you from a lending perspective?
Not really. They're looking into when was it that you had the foreclosure, the short sale, or the bankruptcy. And there is slightly a little difference between Chapter 13 bankruptcies, but not a bunch.
Right, Chapter 13. I think you were telling me that they just look for when your payment plan was confirmed, as opposed to when it was discharged. Right?
Yes, this is for FHA. For conventional, it's 2 years.
It's 2 years, and then if
Now,
yeah,
it's the 2 years from the discharge, but 4 years from the dismissal
okay.
for the
Right.
13.
And just so our callers understand the difference between a discharge and a dismissal, a discharge means that you completed your bankruptcy, whether it was a 7 or a 13, and it's over, and you did everything you made all the payments you needed to make and filed all the paperwork. A dismissal means that you didn't follow through. And that's just something we never tell our clients to do. Even if they're in a 13 and they can't sustain it, we say, okay, great, let's convert it to a 7 or modify your plan so that dismissal is not on your record. All right, Rachel, I'm kind of running out of time, but can you give everybody your number?
Yes, they can call me at 954-800-0330.
Okay, and also your
954?
website's like amazing. So really, give us your web address again.
Okay, it's www.loans, LOANS, dash the number 4, dash the letter U.com. And I made for you the ability to download those charts if you guys wanted. If you put a /FSB for foreclosure, short sale, bankruptcy, the abbreviation.
Rachel, you're awesome, always responsive. I'm so happy to be working with you again. Have a great day. Thank you so much for calling in, and I'll be in touch with you this week, I'm sure.
We'll
Bye.
have her back on again sometime.
There we go.
Thanks so much. So, is FHA with the credit? Is it easier with an FHA versus a conventional
Well,
loan?
FHA is Fair Housing Administration. And what they do is they don't guarantee the loans, but they back the loans. So they will rebuy the loans, basically. And it was a program put into place as part of the fair housing push that came after, the civil rights movement. It was mainly for minority families, but really it wound up being something that helps anybody. It was originally helping minority families with lower incomes, but it kind of grew and morphed into anybody that really needed that help to buy that first house. You didn't have all the money to put down, but you showed you're responsible with your money. They got you in on it. One thing I know we're like running out of time, but I totally need to talk about today. So that literally, like, as I'm leaving the office, I get some breaking news from the Daily Business Review. It is like blows my mind. So I talked about on the last show how some bankruptcy judges are saying, no. If you surrender your house in bankruptcy, you can't go ahead and defend your foreclosure in court. Well, I got to say, there's an opinion today. I haven't read it yet, but it came down from AJ Cristal, right? Not only is he a bankruptcy judge in Miami, they gave him the position of bankruptcy judge emeritus. That means that he's such an awesome bankruptcy judge that he's like the Stanley of bankruptcy. And so what he said is, no, it is unconstitutional for a bankruptcy court to come in and say, you borrowers can't keep defending your case in state court. So we finally, not only we have somebody on our side on this, but we have got the man. We got like the Eli Manning or the Peyton. I don't do sports, but we got the LT of judges backing us up on this, and I'm just like thrilled for my clients because we're able to work through our strategy. The phone number again is 954-596-0669. Call us for that free consultation. Check us out on the web, www.bilulaw.com. That's BILULAW.com. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/BiluLaw. Follow me on Twitter @GBilu. I promise I'll keep you entertained and informed. Have a great day, everybody.
Thanks, man. Dad, it goes by so fast.
It does.
We'll see you. We will see you next week. Everybody have a great week. Peace and love. We are out.
All right.
Thanks for tuning in today to the Ask the Expert show with Steve-O and Renee. Tune in every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. while some of the top local experts in their field from Broward and Palm Beach counties educate you in the areas of law, health, financial, and home improvement. You can also call our offices at 888-574-6999 to become an expert on our show. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program